Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. Before I get started, I just want to remind you, anyone that has not subscribed to my channel, please do so and hit that notification bell. So, let's start out with the episode 5, part 1 of Tyler Perry's Sistas. This is a weekly series on BET on Wednesdays. I'm a little late with bringing this out. I had everything prepared, but I wanted to get out some other videos and podcasts. So I am sorry, guys, but I'm going to bring it to you now, at least part 1. Now, we left off and Gary's wife is in Andy's office showing off her ring. And she expresses that she's sorry for wasting her time, wasting Andy's time. So Andy said, no, you didn't. And she says, I hope you mean that. I do, says Andy. She extends her hand to Andy, and reluctantly Andy kind of pets her hand, lightly. She really don't want to shake this lady's hand or extend her hand to Gary's wife. And Gary's wife then tells her, I know this is disappointing to you. No, not at all. I'm happy for you. I'm sure when you get married, now this is Gary's wife. I'm sure when you get married, and I'm sure that you will, but once you have invested a life with a man, you'll take so much shit to hold on what you built. I understand, says Andy. Thank you. I hope I have to never see you again. And Andy says, I get it. But the wife gets up and then she leaves. Before I go on, guys, I think I figured out this situation, I think. I won't say what I'm thinking until it happens. So, I'm just going to keep that to myself. But if you guys want to leave a comment in that, leave something in the comment section to see if you figured it out. And we'll compare notes. Okay, now Andy, after the wife leaves, Andy grabs her phone and she's desperately trying not to cry. She's holding back her tears. She's hyperventilating and she goes to the ladies' restroom. Again, she checks the stalls to see if anyone is there, and she goes into one stall and she breaks down. She calls Karen at her shop, and by the sound of her voice, and Karen just knows something is wrong. So she tells Andy when she finishes with her client, she'll meet her at her office. Now, Andy composes herself and leaves the ladies' room, and she goes back to her office. Now, on the way, her boss sees her and she tells her, Andy, and he tells her, Andy, into my office. Yes, sir, and she follows him. You can tell he's upset. Close the door. As she closes the door, he says, so what happened? So Andy tells him the client didn't want to go through with divorce. Are you sure you didn't have anything to do with that? No, sir, Andy says. You sure? Sir, I didn't persuade her one way or the other. Well, you should have, he says. I'm sorry, I'm missing something. No, he says. Well, I didn't think we're in the business of ending marriages. We're in the business of making money. So keep that in mind, he says. And he tells her to take the day off. Are you firing me, sir? No, Andy, I'm protecting you. You obviously have been crying. I'm fine, says Andy. No, you're not. I have a lot riding on you. You're being watched every day. I feel that, says Andy. Go home. I'll tell the partners you're meeting up with clients. Yes, sir. And Andy leaves. Now the next scene is at Karen's salon and the phone rings. Aaron Carter, and I'll just call him Carter. Carter calls her. Remember, he's the ice cream buddy. They were eating ice creams in the car. And he says, "You haven't called me." "It hasn't been 24 hours, said Karen. And Carter tells her he wanted to apologize and invites her to dinner. Carter says he knows a really great place and he tells her the name of the place. And Karen says she's been wanting to check that place out. So they set the time for 8 o'clock that evening. And Karen says, "Okay, I'll meet you over there. See you tonight." "See you tonight," said Carter. Now the next scene is Danny at the airport. And she sees a woman she suspects have been sleeping with her friend Karen ex. Well, Karen's ex, she believes that they're sleeping together, the woman she sees. And Danny talks to her and tells her "Oh, you're always happy." And the lady says, "Oh, I'm blessed." So Andy questions her about Karen's ex, and the lady basically tells her that it's none of her business. Now Andy asks, she just comes right out, "Are you sleeping with him?" And the woman hesitates, and Danny whispers sarcastically, "That's a yes or no answer." So Danny asks her, "Are you okay?" "'Cause he gave me herpes." "What?" "Yeah, girl, I'm just trying to have your back. I don't need to do anything 'cause I'm not sleeping with him." Okay, all right. I'm just looking out for you. This is Danny. Now the woman says he knows her uncle, and her uncle is a pastor and runs a homeless shelter, and he's staying there. And she says she volunteers on the weekend, but she asked Danny, don't tell anyone. So the woman then asked Danny, "Can I pray for you?" "I would really like to pray for you." Danny tells her, "No, I'm good." And she walks away. Guys, I was so hoping she would pray for Danny. I was hoping it was going to lead to one of the, taking the restroom. Because mind you, they're in the middle of the lobby of the airport and where you check in. So I would have loved to see her take Danny in one of the ladies' room and just do one of them hardcore come to Jesus prayers. You know what I mean? Okay, so the next scene, Sabrina's at the bank, and she and Maurice, her co-worker, are talking, and Maurice suspects that Sabrina's not happy with him, and tells her that so he tells her that, and Sabrina says she's fine, and Maurice then asks me how the date went. No, let me say it like Maurice. "Girl, well, tell me how the days went." "Well," Sabrina hesitates, "if it were with any other man, you would ask me." "Fine," she says. "How was it?" Maurice starts grinning and says, "We went for coffee, and he was sitting there looking all good and smelling all good. And I was sitting there looking all good and smelling all good, with my legs crossed ever so perfect, toes pointed downward, extravaganza in full effect." "You listening to me?" says Maurice. "Yes, go on. "Then look at me," says Maurice. I thought he was going to say, "Well, look at me when I'm talking to you, girl." But he didn't. Sabrina was squirming and looking all uncomfortable. "Go on," says Sabrina. "Then he read me, girl. I was flirting and betting my eyelashes, and all he could say was, 'Can you hook me up with your friend?'" "What?" says Sabrina. "Yes. You are such a judgmental little," and he calls her the garden too, hoe. "Guess that's how they talk." "How can you say that?" says Sabrina. "Judging me, you thought he was gay." She looked embarrassed and she asked, "So is he so comfortable? Why is he so comfortable with gay people?" "Oh, Sabrina, that is so homophobic." "Oh, bitch, please. You started it." "How did I start it?" "You the one that told me He couldn't be straight if he was that friendly to me, to you. Well, this is Maurice talking to Sabrina. Let me say that the way he would say it. You the one that told me he couldn't be straight if he was that friendly to you. I said it right. Okay, says Maurice, I was wrong. We were both wrong. So Maurice tells her that Calvin has 2 gay fathers and Calvin is straight. I like him for you, Serena, or whatever your damn name is. Calvin is a good man. Now, guys, why did he say that? Why did Maurice say whatever her name was? I guess that's going to be important later, but I don't get it right now. So Maurice tells her if she doesn't call him soon, she's going to blow it with Calvin. And she said, okay, I'll call him. Now, says Maurice. Now? Yes. So Sabrina texts Calvin. Next scene. Karen is in her salon and Andy walks in just as Karen is finishing her client. Now, Karen takes Andy in the back room of the salon and tells Karen her boss told her to go home because he didn't want the partners to see her. Because it was obvious she had been crying. Well, it looks like he's looking out for you, says Karen. He don't give a damn about me, says Andy. And fills Karen is, and then she fills Karen in on what happened with Gary's wife. She says they had a great evening. He went to the gym, so that means at that time he was with me. He had the great evening with his wife and then wakes up in the morning, come to the gym, supposed to go to the gym, but he's over at Andy's house. So guys, the wife is saying they had sex that night, just putting it delicately. The wife says that they had sex that night. So in the morning when Gary was supposed to be at the gym, he was with Andy proposing to her. Plot thickens. Now Andy told her about the ring and that Gary cried when he proposed. But he's already married, says Karen. That's what I said Andy. He got on one knee and he cried and he begged. The wife said when he got back from the gym, he was crying and gave her the ring. The very ring I said no to. I just want him to get the hell out of my life. I'm so mad at that SOB. And she started crying and getting all hysterical. So Karen hugs her to comfort her. I'm sorry, says Karen. Now, Andy threatens to go to Gary's job because she got to get her key back. So Karen tells her, we are not going to do that. And Karen tells her one day she's going to figure this all out and have a good laugh over it. I doubt it. Now Karen tells, and that's me, Karen tells Andy to block him the way I did with Zach. Okay, so Karen's ex is named Zach. The one at the airport that works with Danny. I could not remember that, but it's Zach. Now, as Andy is blocking Gary, Karen then pulls out a joint from from her bosom, out of her bra. I guess that's where she carries it. Now Karen tells Andy, remember, you have to delete the contact to block it properly. I'm sorry. Guys, I didn't know that personally. I was wondering why people I blocked. Now this is me talking. This is not the script. I was wondering why when I block people, they still could leave a message. So I guess I'm supposed to after I block someone, I'm supposed to delete the contact. I thought you were supposed to keep the contact or the block was null and void. Okay, We'll see if it works a lot or not. We'll see if it works if one of the people I blocked. So you guys tell me, how does that work when you block someone? Do you have to delete the contact? And this is for my personal information. This has nothing to do with sisters. But anyway, guys. Okay. So Andy then lights the joint and she coughs. And then Karen, she asked Karen, where did you get this from? And Karen says, Danny gave me this. Oh, hell no, says Andy and gives the joint back to Karen. I'm not trying to get that high. So as she passed the joint to Karen and Karen takes a puff, she looks at the joint and says, ooh. Karen passes back to Andy and she takes a hit. I guess she did want to get that high. So guys, I know I rushed through this. I didn't want it to be a long podcast. I didn't want this to be long at all. So I'm going to end it. So wait for part 2 and see if that information about Gear and his wife, see if that's revealed. It's like, if you guys saw the series, then all of this would probably make better sense, because it's hard to picture. Okay, this is Danny, this is Karen, this is Andy, this is Sabrina, this is Gary's ex, and and all these characters. But if you had a visual of it, then it might fall together better than just hearing me. But you know what? A lot of people like audiobooks. And although I am not mastering, playing each character, I guess if I really studied it, then I would do a better job of mastering the voices of the characters. However, that would take time, and I just don't want to take a lot of time putting these series out. Wednesday, another series is coming, and here it is Monday. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, any questions about who's who and what's what, tune in to BET and watch it, and maybe we can have a dialogue about what you think. And this is, like I said, this is TV. This is TV. This is Tyler Perry's doing. However, like I said previously, sometimes art imitates real life, and situations are built out of a lot of people's background and history and experiences. So thank you again for joining me. I'm going to say good night right now. Put my dogs to bed and probably study some more and look at some of you guys' videos and comments, because I get behind on my part on subscribing to other channels. So I'm going to catch up on some videos. Thank you, everyone, and good night.